Hi.
Hi.
It's starting to get dark here,
Yeah.
and you may hear the roosters crow in the background, but we're going to talk a little bit about do's and don'ts.
Yes, we are. Especially don'ts.
Yeah, especially don'ts. One of the things is don't assume. Ask questions.
Yes, please. Be curious.
Yes, be curious, yes.
Yeah.
If you aren't, like, for example, when I went to that funeral, I was like, wait a minute, this is different, okay? If a missionary, if you're going to work with a missionary host, ask questions when they do something and you're not quite sure why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they're doing things culturally.
Yeah.
They may not be, now I don't, when there's something that's cultural, that's not scriptural, I try to help bring a little correction just by example.
Yes.
That's another story down the road. But sometimes, for example, haggling.
Yes.
Haggling is a big part of the African culture, or most cultures. When you go to the stores, if you go to a supermarket, everything's set here in Cameroon. But if you go to the open markets, you haggle. And my husband, that is a sport to him.
Yeah.
He loves haggling. I think sometimes he does get a little fed up, but he can haggle, and it's a sport to him. But one time we had a missionary come, and from the United States to help teach in our Bible schools, and he went with my husband somewhere to purchase some things, and my husband haggled, and he became offended by it. He did not understand why he was haggling, and he felt that it was offensive to the person and his product that he was selling. And so when he got back to the States, he went to our leadership in our church and began to complain about how my husband was haggling and felt that he was disrespectful to to the nationals, by insulting them about the prices of their products. And of course, our leadership has been in Africa.
Yeah.
And he said, well, did you ask John about it? Did you ask your missionary host about what he was doing? And did you know that that's part of the culture?
Yeah.
And so, see, don't go in and assume. Ask
Actually,
questions.
when you go to the market and you buy things, they expect you to haggle. That's part of the game. That is how they enjoy. They are there not only to sell a product or an object, but it's that contact with the person, that talking, chatting, saying, no, I'll give you this, no, I'll give you that. It's part of the culture. So that is part of the fun. For them, it's fun. So if you don't do it, okay, you buy your products, but they feel, okay, what is the fun? Something's missing.
And so, ask questions.
Yeah,
if there's things that are
just
being
ask.
done. And I know at one time we had another missionary here, and we had programs scheduled for him. He came to do teaching on prophetic and different things. And the programs never started on time. And of course they don't. The only things that really start on time are church services and weddings and Bible school. Our Bible school starts on time.
We make sure
of that. But a lot of times, just special programs and different things, people don't show. Actually, weddings, they sometimes don't show up on time. It's just part of the culture.
Yeah.
And he was really offended that we were dragging our feet and not getting anything done and not starting things on time.
But you don't want to start on time when it's only you and you,
So, and I think he kind of saw that after a while. So at the end, but I do appreciate him. At the end of his time with us, he did say, well, y'all really need to start your programs on time. And my husband and I, we just started laughing. Other people in the room we had some of our church leadership there, and they were all laughing. And we said, well, that's just part of the culture here. If you ever come back to Africa, Cameroon, not all countries are that way, but most countries are, you're going to find that things don't start on time.
No.
And so you have to be flexible.
Yes.
And ask questions.
Yes. Go and ask. If you don't understand why things are done this way, why we don't do it, we don't do certain things, just ask.
And don't assume.
Yeah.
See, sometimes we make assumptions.
Yeah.
Assumptions kind of make us look foolish. I would say it another way, but it's not very nice.
Yeah.
So, but it makes us look foolish when we assume without asking questions. So always ask questions. That is one of the biggest no-nos of missions is lack of you not communicating.
Yeah.
If something is bothering you, communicate it. Don't be concerned of offending anyone, and don't walk away offended because you don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think that all goes on with a servant heart. I love it when people come to me. We had a few weeks ago, a month ago, a young lady in our church left the church, and she came to see us one Sunday evening and told us that she was offended with us. And Marie. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy that you came to see us and talk to us about this offense. And it cleared everything. In fact, her offense was based on an assumption.
Yeah.
And she ended up, she's gone to another church, and that's fine. You know, it's okay. And she's over the offense, but now she comes to my house once a week and helps me clean my house. You know, I clean and she clean, we clean together, and it alleviates some of my responsibilities to free me up to study and do the things I need to do for ministry. But just ask questions. You know, I think that's the way it is in our relationships. Because we get easily offended because of our expectations.
Actually, and also when you come on the mission field, you know, go to your host and ask, what can I do? How can I serve you? How can I help you? Yes. Don't think that you have the answers that, okay, I come and I'm going to do this big crusade, these big things, you know, and I'm going to save the nation. Because, you know, the message that you are passing is completely the opposite. That what you are telling to your host is that, you know, up to now you have done nothing. So that is why I come, so I can solve the situation. When these people, you know, the host has been there, struggling, fighting, you know, interceding, standing in faith to have the solution for the problems.
Yes.
So, you know, don't assume that you know it all, because you don't.
Yeah, we've had several missions organizations come. One came 4 years in a row, and early on in our ministry came to help us, and they were a blessing to us in our Bible schools. But one night they had a prayer meeting, and when my husband and I went to visit them the next morning, they began to tell us all the new revelations that they got about the city, and God was showing them all of this.
They were informing you.
And they began to inform me what God, you know, like we just thought we'd let you know, just to help you out, that this is what's going on. And I very kindly told the leader, I said, thank you very much, but God has showed those things to me already, and I've already been praying about those things. And I said, but thank you for telling me.
And confirming what you already knew.
But later on, I gave Jody feedback, and I told Jody, I said, you know, when you go in a mission base, it's okay to pray and seek God. Maybe you need to hear it from yourself, but don't come off like you know it and your mission host doesn't.
Correct.
And so, you know, be courteous of your missionary host. Are you a good listener? We're about to finish this session and we're losing sunlight. But are you a good listener?
Yeah.
Or do you have selective hearing? You only hear what you want to hear. I find that sometimes people that don't have right motives, their heart isn't right, they don't have a servant heart, they're not good listeners. And so there's one thing hearing, there's one thing to listen, but then there's another thing to hear. Yeah. Are you hearing what's being said? Yeah. Are you reading between the lines? Are you being sensitive to what people are telling you? Because to be quite frankly, I've worked a lot with people, and I can tell you that a lot of people tend to have selective hearing because we only hear what we want to hear.
Absolutely, you know, and we just want to do what we want to do. Instead, you know, in the mission field, you have to do especially what you don't want to do. Amen?
Yes.
And without, you know, bad attitude, without criticizing, you know, that is, I think, is your testing time. The Lord, you know, is really trying to see if you are willing to do whatever it takes to be a good servant.
You know, Jesus came to serve us in a big way, and I'm sure he did not want to go to the cross.
Oh, he certainly didn't want to go. Who wants to go to the cross?
But that was his main purpose of coming. And going to the cross, what did it do? it freed us all.
Yeah.
And now he has us as his people.
Yes.
Because he gave his life. And I'm sure he
Absolutely.
didn't really want to do it.
Yeah, but
You know?
sometimes, you have to do what everybody else doesn't want to do.
And that's what a servant heart is to
Correct.
sacrifice and
That
do
is
some
why,
things.
you are a servant. You just do what,
To
needs
move
to
out
be
of your
done.
comfort zone.
Yeah, but also what needs to be done.
And be-
Sometimes, we don't like what we do, but we know that it needs to be done, and we do it, like Jesus.
Well, we need to close.
Yeah.
Our time is getting too much, but the next
And
time
it gets really, really dark.
and next time you'll see us with more light.
Yeah.
But next time we come back, we'll talk more about how to be considerate of your host.
Yes.
And to those around you and to the nationals.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.